Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session created for a client that was dealing with heavy emotions like guilt based on a dynamic where there was a heavy expectation that they would put the needs of other people before their own. And quite often people grow up in environments like that, where it's just a given that if someone else needs help, you put your needs before, or their needs before your own. And in doing so, that can lead to a lot of conflict and frustration and resentment and lots of other emotions as well. And there is a very, very big difference between generosity, and generosity is where you're choosing to help because you're in a position where you can help, and a form of self-sacrifice or martyrdom, which is putting the needs of other people above your own needs, even if it's to the detriment of yourself. Now, this hypnosis session tackles that head on in the sense that there are various metaphors that link to this idea that actually it's a good thing to help if you're in a position where you can help. And with the client I was talking about, in a famine situation, if someone made sure that everyone else is fed, but they weren't fed themselves, then actually it could result in the starvation of a provider. Whereas people don't mind sharing their food if they've got more than enough food. And this is really about cultivating an idea of having so much resources, intrinsic and extrinsic, that generosity just becomes second nature. That there isn't this feeling of a zero-sum game, that in order for someone else to benefit, you have to lose, which in the end actually creates a lose-lose outcome. Because quite often, if you have to lose in order for someone else to win, then that will lead to feelings of frustration and resentment and avoidance, or potentially burnout if you are willing to put the needs of other people before your own again and again. Now, I'm not talking about small children, I'm talking about adults in this case. There is a time when you do need to consider other people's needs beyond your own if they're highly vulnerable. But in this particular case, we're talking about adults that already had options and resources, and therefore putting their needs above your own has a presupposition that you're not worth that much, that actually someone else is more valuable than you are, and that can lead to a lot of inner conflict. This is really about tapping into a feeling of resourcefulness where nobody loses and everyone wins. There is a metaphor of preparing for an undesirable outcome. And I think that's useful because you can hope for the best in life, but it's always helpful to prepare for worst case scenarios. Because if you just have this ultra positive thinking, everything's going to be amazing, and you don't have contingencies in place, then actually it can catch people off guard if then something devastating does happen. So I'm a realist, a pragmatist. It's good to have optimistic thoughts about what you want in life, but also you have to accept that not everything is going to be sunshine and rainbows, and there are going to be difficult moments. So having the resources to deal with difficult times is also helpful, but it's easier to do that if you're in a strong place personally yourself. If you're listening to this and there are areas of your life that you feel that hypnosis could help you to become stronger, more resourceful, more resilient, there will be a link in the show notes where you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation call to explore working with me. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to fully relax as you feel tension or stress or any worries leaving your body in your outward breath, enabling you to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. Breathing in and breathing out. Notice any tension in your body. Perhaps your jaw, your forehead, neck or shoulders. And as you breathe in, an intense feeling of resourcefulness. Just allow anything that's been holding you back, any guilt, any anger, any worries or stress, just feel it leaving your body as you take a long, slow, deep breath out. That's it. As you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to imagine a cup filled with water. And I want you to imagine 3 other people with empty cups. And if you were to give everything in your cup to the 3 other cups, they would all get some, and you would end up with nothing. But I want you to imagine this cup is a magical cup that has the ability to refill itself, but only on one condition: that the cup never runs dry. If the cup is full, half of that cup could be given to other people, and before long, the cup would be full again. But if all the water leaves the cup, it never replenishes. Breathe in and breathe out, and allow your unconscious mind to accept the suggestion that you can't pour from an empty cup. But if your cup is full and even overflowing, then you can happily give to others, knowing that your own will be replenished. Breathe in and breathe out, and acknowledge that there is a big difference between generosity and martyrdom. Generosity is when someone has so much of something, time, money, energy, that they have plenty more to give. Whereas martyrdom is when people give the little they have so they end up with nothing for themselves. As you accept the suggestion that you are not a martyr, you are generous, but in order to be generous, you have to be overflowing with what you need for yourself in order to be generous with the excess. I want you to imagine a beautiful countryside landscape with rolling hills, with lush green grass. And I want you to see a cute lamb grazing on the hillside. I want you to imagine that lamb, if it grows, could perhaps give birth to many more lambs, which in turn give birth to many more, leading in the future to perhaps hundreds, if not thousands, of sheep that could roam across the countryside. But if the single lamb is sacrificed, all of that future ends in that moment. Breathe in and breathe out as you make a decision to never be the martyr, to never be the sacrificial lamb, to never be the empty cup, but instead to be overflowing to the point where generosity is an easy decision to make. If your unconscious mind accepts that to be true, let me know by nodding your head. Because martyrdom is where one person loses in order for someone else to temporarily win. But it is only ever temporary. Generosity means everyone wins. The receiver benefits from the generosity, but the giver also benefits because it makes them feel good to give. No feeling of expectation, obligation. I want you to feel that you deserve to be authentically generous, to be true to yourself and give through choice rather than obligation. When you give because you desire to, you feel good. When you give because you feel obligated to, you feel that something is taken from you, that a debt should be repaid. I want you to see that sacrificial lamb was never sacrificed, lives a happy, long life, and has many lambs of their own. And just imagine relaxing in that countryside, blue skies, sunshine, surrounded by happy, cheerful sheep. As you open your mind to powerful suggestions to help you become the best possible version of you. Give permission to embrace your unique self. You embrace your unique qualities and characteristics with a deep understanding that your individuality is a source of strength and authenticity. Honor your true feelings and thoughts, giving them space and the respect they deserve, because they are a true reflection of your authentic self. You have many different inner voices. A voice of guilt, a voice of shame. But in amongst those voices is a true, authentic, inner self. And you can trust in that inner voice, allowing it to guide you in your decisions and actions, knowing that it's the truest representation of who you are. In life, there will be many difficult decisions and choices, but allow yourself to live according to your values. Because when you live in alignment with your core values, you ensure that your actions and choices resonate deeply with what you believe and what you stand for. It's fine to just be unique, but I wonder what would happen when you celebrate your uniqueness, when you truly recognize that there is no one else in the world quite like you, and that your uniqueness is your gift to the world. Breathe in and breathe out. And on that sunny day in the countryside, surrounded by green fields and happy sheep, I want you to notice there is a storm on the horizon heading your way. And you don't know if the storm will hit you or if it will go in a different direction. So you can prepare for a storm without any guarantee that a storm will hit. Because you have the power to discover and harness your inner strength, becoming a pillar of support for you and those that you love the most. You can nurture a sense of hope, letting it be your guiding light in times of uncertainty and challenge. You can prepare for the storm while still desiring the storm doesn't even come close. Embrace your compassion. Let it flow freely from your heart, providing comfort and understanding. Allow yourself to seek and cherish moments of peace and quiet. Use them to recharge and regain your inner balance. You are a source of energy. You generate and sustain positive energy, radiating it towards whoever needs it, but also uplifting your spirit. Every emotion you experience is a part of who you are. So accept all of your emotions as a natural response to your past, your present, and any possible future. A shepherd needs to cultivate patience. They need to wait for the sheep to go through the seasons. And as you cultivate patience within you, you understand that some things are beyond your control. So it feels good to focus on what you can positively influence. You can't pour from an empty cup, so you prioritize self-care, because taking care of yourself is important before you can effectively care for anyone else. When your own cup is overflowing, you have more than you need and are happy to give. As you develop emotional resilience, stronger than ever before. It enables you to face challenges with courage and adaptability. There are always things to be grateful for, so allow yourself to harness gratitude. Even if there are challenges in your life, there are also many good things, moments, health, opportunities for the future. And every time you acknowledge the good in your life and the precious moments you've shared, you feel a wonderful feeling of gratitude. Give yourself permission to strengthen your boundaries. As you establish and maintain healthy emotional boundaries, you allow yourself to protect your well-being while at the same time offering support to those who need it. You can hope for the best, but you can also balance that against realism. You can hope that the storm passes you by while preparing for an intense storm with whatever you can. Allow yourself to uphold good daily routines. They give you structure, stability, and are the foundation for personal well-being. When you take care of the essentials, your cup can overflow quicker than ever before. Allow yourself to be flexible and adaptive, understanding that situations may change rapidly, that you can change depending on the circumstances. If there's a storm, you would wear the appropriate clothing for a storm. If there's no storm, you can prepare for sunshine. Allow yourself to change and adapt depending on what actually happens. A source of energy and power for you is to visualize positive outcomes. So allow yourself to harness the power of your mind to foster a sense of hope and positivity. Hope for what you want, but prepare for what you don't. And if your unconscious mind feels ready for whatever life sends your way, let me know by nodding your head. Feel that every decision you make that fosters health and well-being in you enables more of that replenishing cup to fill up with water quicker. There is no need for guilt or shame. You have every right to make any decision based on your needs and your values. Allow your own cup to overflow and then share the excess. No guilt, no obligation. Living a life from choice and freedom. Breathe in and breathe out and feel like you're fully returning to the present with batteries recharged, with your own cup overflowing, with a wonderful sense of strength and resilience. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, connecting fully to the present moment as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.